Okay, I think we're live once again. All right, I'm going to try this again. Sorry about that. It's telling me Facebook. Yeah, I should be live on Facebook and on YouTube. So we'll see if anybody joins once again. And it looks like I've got somebody watching in the chat. Don't know who it is. Oh, there's Eleanor. Looks like I've got somebody watching. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Eleanor's asking what happened. Hey, Eleanor, glad you're here. Renz was here. That was my fault. When I started tonight, I had started, I think, 2 different StreamYards, and somehow I had the wrong one. So I think we should be okay now. Hopefully, Renz will come back and find us. So right now, as near as I can tell, Eleanor's the only one that I can see that's watching. Okay, now it says I've got 3 people watching. So, Renz, if you're back, please type something in the chat so I know I haven't lost you for good. Sorry about that, folks. It's always something. Here's Days 1. Welcome, brother. Glad to have you here. Pardon my my faux pas. And Eleanor, as always, wishing everybody a fabulous weekend. So we know we've got Eleanor. We know she's saying that's because she's no. I'm downstairs in Eleanor's house, so this is where I get good reception. But if I screw up the broadcast, nothing to do with the reception. That's all on me. So anyway, I hope Renz finds us again, because according to what I'm seeing, it looks like Days and Eleanor. Well, now we got 3 again. I'm hoping Renz will find us back in here again, because I ended the other stream. So we'll see what happens. Now so anyway, if you're new here, sorry about these issues, but I'm going to show you. You can follow the stories on my webpage. Let me go share that with you. So let me go share screen. So if you go to my webpage, which is mobilegeezer.wordpress.com, click on the very first story with today's date, and you'll have all the stories that we're going to talk about tonight. These are the show notes for tonight. So let me put my stuff back here. Okay. And back to the comments. Okay. I hope I haven't lost Renz for good. And I see Annette's in here. Hey, Annette. Yeah, you just missed me messing up. I started 2 separate broadcasts on StreamYards, and I think I ended up deleting the wrong one. I had Renz in here, but I had to stop that one. I started a new one. So right now I've got Days and Eleanor and you in here. So that's a step in the right direction. Hopefully Renz will find us again. Mike will be joining us later tonight. And by the way, I just showed you my show notes. If you guys look at the show notes, you'll see the first story is about the iPhone emergency satellite SOS, which we're going to do that first, and that's a very long story, but a good one, I think. The second story, though, is about a longtime Android user switches to iPhone. Mike specifically sent me a text asking me to hold this story until he gets in. So, and that says she was in the other one also. Okay, that's good. So since you found me, hopefully Renz will find me again too. So, but I know Renz is at work already. So, okay, so I'm going to be holding that second story until Mike gets in here. After that, I'm sure everybody's heard about the big FTX scandal that's going on, where they declared bankruptcy. They've lost, I gather, billions of dollars for people. And so I just figured we should talk about that. The world is talking about it. And PewDiePie is no longer the world's top YouTuber. Mr. Beast took over from him this week, which I thought was kind of a big deal. So, and I always try to bring you stories that you're not going to see everywhere. So I just thought it was big that PewDiePie, after almost 10 years, is now number 2. And then, of course, we've had these stories for the last few weeks about switching to USB-C from lightning cables because the EU has forced Apple to do that, which Apple says they're going to do. But got a story on CNET saying it might be a while before we see the end of lightning cables completely. So I just thought it was an interesting story. And then the last story this week, Qualcomm had their annual get-together in Hawaii, and they've announced some new AR chips that are good for smart glasses. So I just, again, thought that was an interesting story. So those are the stories we're going to go over tonight. And you know what? I think I probably should send a new, I better do a new invite for these guys. So let's stop sharing the screen. And I'm going to send a new invite to Mike and Will and Ted because I'm thinking the one I had already sent them is probably not going to work very well. So bear with me for a second. Let me go to my mail and get that sent out to them. Okay. Mike, Will, and Ted. New StreamYard link. Okay. All right. Gave them a different StreamYard link. So they should get that one. And hopefully Mike will be joining us. And he said he would probably be joining us around the time he joined us last week, which is, I think, it was like 8:45, something like that. Of course, Will bailed me out last week because he came in almost immediately, and I don't know whether Will's going to make it tonight or not. But we'll start with our stories, and we'll see how it goes. So let me go back to sharing screen. And we'll go with our first story. Now, we had the story last week that Apple was going to have the emergency SOS working this month. Well, somebody has actually already tried it, and they set up one just for this guy to actually try it in real life. And he tried it from Brooklyn to a park I've been to, as a matter of fact. So this was on Tech Radar. So let's go take a look at that story. It says, I tested Apple emergency SOS via satellite, and it could save a life, by Lance Ulanoff. So let's go put that into reader view. It's true, this thing could save somebody's life, and hopefully you'll never need it. But if you do, it's kind of good to know. So he really did a good job with going through this. He tested this from a park in Brooklyn. I forget which park, which I've been there way back when I was in my 20s and 30s, but that's the last time I was there. So I just thought it was interesting. He was testing from a place I've been to, and I know, being raised in Jersey, I worked in Brooklyn somewhat when I was young too, so I kind of know the New York area pretty well. All right, perhaps only Apple could invest nearly $500 million in an iPhone 14-based system most will never use. Let's hope. It's something that makes its now available emergency SOS via satellite system on all iPhone 14 handsets that much more impressive. Seriously, how often are we lost, incapacitated, hurt, or stranded? Okay, it does happen. Better question. How often are we any of these things outside of cellular coverage? Right, this is an edge case, but it's also a potentially life-saving one, and that's a very good point. What Apple has done here is a big deal. It's leapfrog smartphone competitors by putting satellite connectivity in handsets millions of people now own. That's true. This includes the iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Pro, iPhone 14 Plus, and iPhone 14 Pro Max, which is I have right here. And the service is free for 2 years at least. When Apple launched the iPhone 14 back in September, and it quickly joined the list of our best phones, it gave me a live demonstration of the capability, but I couldn't touch the phone or really dig in any substantial way. Plus, we couldn't test emergency SOS via satellite on our review units because the service still wasn't live. Apple officially turns on the Globalstar satellite service supported today. This was 3 days ago on the 15th, but gave me a hands-on preview a few days in advance. And this is a really good preview he did here. Unlike the last demonstration, this one would be self-guided, but still with a couple of limits. Because the system uses the traditional 911 service, Apple had me set up with phones that can't call the traditional emergency services. Otherwise, the experience was completely live with real satellites, real Apple relay agents, and a real text-based conversation over satellite communication. So they set up kind of their own 911 service so you wouldn't really have to call 911, which is good. For this test, Apple invited me to Prospect Park in Brooklyn. Yeah, I haven't been here since I was probably in my early 30s, a long time ago, where we could create our own emergency scenario. Prospect Park is a very large park in Brooklyn. I think it's the biggest park in Brooklyn. I arrived early and started scoping out the situation, trying to imagine how I could fake an emergency among countless runners, bicyclists, and an untold number of dogs and their walkers. Surely, if I got lost in the sometimes dense woods of the 526-acre park, yeah, I told you it was big, one of these pups would quickly sniff me out, hopefully. In any case, I decided to suspend disbelief for the sake of my Apple Emergency SOS via satellite trial. There are, it turns out, a few different usage scenarios for this service, and he does a good job of going over them. The first is the obvious emergency situation that starts with dialing 911, but more on that later. The other two are using it as a low Earth orbit check-in system via iOS's Find My app, and that's pretty cool that you can do that. And the third is a basic live demo through settings to help train you on the ins and outs of using emergency SOS via satellite. Our plan on this day, though, was to do an emergency. To understand how emergency SOS, now keep in mind, none of us can do the emergency thing because we'd have to really dial 911, but I think the other two things he did here we can do. To understand how emergency SOS via satellite might change your fate in an emergency, you have to know when you will and won't use it. Your satellite service-equipped iPhone 14 will be the first to tell you if this is the moment to contact an orbiting device. In my scenario, I was faking being lost in the park as leashless dogs ran around me and people casually strolled by. I looked at the phone Apple handed me, which was set up to route 911 calls away from actual dispatchers and to its own service. So they just replaced the real 911 guys with their guys, which is good. Even before I dialed for help, I noticed the SOS that appeared in the upper right-hand corner of the iPhone 14 screen. And I don't think, yeah, you can see it right here, SOS. Okay. It's only there when there's no cell and Wi-Fi service available. So if you have no cell and no Wi-Fi service, then you're going to see that SOS. Next to it, I could see a tiny satellite icon, which indicated the availability of satellite connectivity. Let's see that. Okay, so it tells you there's a satellite that you can reach from your phone. So that's good. If I were indoors and then not lost, that symbol would not appear and I could not connect to any of the satellites. So you've got to see that satellite symbol to be able to connect. I dialed 911 and waited As it seemed, at least at first, nothing happened. Then the screen changed, and in the lower left-hand corner, a text message symbol with a red SOS on top of it appeared. Do we see it? And we see it that right here. Okay. Right below was the text, emergency text via satellite. And you can see that right there. I selected that, which instantly led me to a new emergency SOS via satellite screen. It reminded me to be outside to get a connection. Messages will take longer to send. Answer questions to get a quick response. And they do a good job here. These are crystal clear instructions which seem appropriate for someone in dire straits. At the bottom was a large green button with a report emergency on it. You can see that right here. In the smaller text above was a reminder that your location and medical ID may be shared. I guess that's what we're seeing here. On the medical ID front, now under normal circumstances, that might be cause for alarm, but as a lost person, possibly with an injury, this is exactly the kind of information I want delivered to first responders. Yeah, you want them to know your location and medical emergency. On the medical ID front, Apple can only share whatever information you have already entered into your iPhone. So you need to have this stuff entered in your iPhone before you ever want to use this. If you've never filled out that part of your health app profile settings, then Apple will have nothing to share with the medical professionals arriving to save and treat you. So you've got to fill that out in your health app profile. I was still lost, so I hit the big green button. This immediately launched a short Q&A session with the system where it asked about the nature of the emergency. Like I said, they do a very thorough job here. So they're asking car or vehicle issue, sickness or injury, crime, lost or trapped, fire. After reading the list, I felt somewhat lucky to only be lost and not injured or trapped in the middle of a forest fire. Yeah, it's probably true. But emergency SOS via satellite gets even more granular. Next, it asked me who needs help. Me, someone else, multiple people. This was followed by, is anyone injured? I answered no. Then it asked me to describe the emergency as stranded, trapped, lost, other. The last question dug into the emergency environment. Do any of these apply? Steep terrain, water, cave, none. They do ask very good questions, I'd say. To raise the stakes a bit, I entered steep terrain. While this may sound tedious, all of this detail is designed to help emergency responders find you and properly prepare to treat and save you. I think these are great questions. After that, Apple's emergency SOS via satellite does a very smart thing. It offers to notify your emergency contacts. Once again, the value of this totally depends on whether you previously entered emergency contacts in your iPhone. So make sure you have that set up. If you did, your contact will be notified and they will see the entire conversation between you and your dispatchers and or Apple's emergency relay center. I think that's very good. For the record, my personal iPhone has both my medical ID info and my emergency contact, my wife. But I was using Apple's phone, so in my fake emergency, the iPhone was sending the word to an Apple contact standing 2 feet away from me. So good. As soon as I allowed the phone to send word to my emergency contact, it switched to a new screen that guided me to turn until I was positioned to connect with the nearest orbiting satellite. That's very good. The on-screen guidance could not be clearer. Now, if I were truly injured or lying on the ground, it might not be so easy for me to turn left or right to find a satellite, but I imagine I would find a way. Yeah, I'd say when you're trying to save your life, you'll find a way. When the phone locks onto a satellite, the tracking display turns green and the screen switches to a modified messages interface, which I guess is this. At the top is a persistent guide reminding you to keep the satellite in range. I guess that's here. If it goes out of range, the phone will instruct you to turn left or right to find another satellite. Below Below it, I could see the details of the text message that was going out to dispatch or Apple's relay center. If the former can't accept a text message, it goes to Apple's relay. In our scenario, that was the only choice. Apple wouldn't tell us the size of its emergency services trained relay team, but there was no indication that this was a slow rollout with a small team. In the top portion of the screen, I could see the progress of my initial call for help. It's a lot slower than traditional text messages. There's no getting around the inherent latency issues of a satellite communications, but Apple has mitigated the issue somewhat by using a compression algorithm to reduce text message sizes by up to 3x. That's good. Within a few moments, which I imagine might be scary and agonizing for someone in real danger, I had a message from Apple's Emergency Relay Center. They were reviewing what I sent and asked for a description of my location. Very good. I kept it purposely vague, telling them I was on a hill in the middle of nowhere. I figured that if I was really lost, it wouldn't have a great answer. I wouldn't have a great answer to that question. Then I watched as that answer slowly made its way back to the relay center. The seconds were ticking by and the unleashed dog surrounded me. Apple's relay personnel returned within a minute or so with another question about where I entered the area. That's good question. But it also reminded me to keep my answers short. Now, that wasn't them being rude. That's Apple helping me. Apple's relay team understands the satellite's limited bandwidth. Yeah, that's a good point. Short answers from me will get to them that much quicker and help lead to a speedy rescue. As Apple's Emergency Relay Center was speaking to me, they were simultaneously reaching out to the nearest emergency dispatcher. That's very good. This meant there'd be no delay in someone heading my direction. They also asked about what equipment I had on me. I replied, water. See, a nice short response. Finally, I was told local responders had been notified I would soon be found and brought home. Since I was never lost or in any danger, the stakes never felt that high, but I guarantee you that we will soon be hearing stories of someone using Apple's emergency SOS via satellite to be rescued from Canada's far north or El Capitan. You can bet somebody will be using it for real. You don't need an emergency to use your iPhone's 14 satellite services. Now, this is interesting. For people who like to go off the grid but also want family members to know they're okay, they can use it with Find My app to send you their location details, which is cool. I did this with the iPhone 14 and it was easy. I simply opened Find My, selected Me, and then slid up to the drawer to reveal a new Send My Location via satellite option, which is very cool. With it, anyone with whom I normally share my location via the iPhone would get the notification that I'm not lost, just hiking in the middle of Prospect Park. Finally, there is a way to see how the service works without an emergency notifying everyone of your location. Get this, this is cool. You can open settings, scroll down to emergency SOS via satellite, and then it will guide you to find the satellite and text people over it. That's very cool that you can actually test it. Through this, you'll be able to understand what it's like to locate and maintain a connection to a satellite and just how long it takes to text someone through this communication system. I'm thinking that's something we should all try at least once just to see how slow or fast it is. As I said, this is not a tool for everyday use. But I see you might give me a sec. But if you or someone you know or love is lost, hurt, in danger, or just needs to be found but cannot get to the grid, Apple's emergency SOS via satellite is a potential life and anxiety saver. So I think this is a really, really good system. And I think they did a great job here, and he did a great test. So, oh, wait a minute. I got Mike and Will in here. Check this out. Everybody's here. Let me see.
Oh no, yeah, he's here too.
Yeah, oh, nice.
Oh
Nice.
no. Well, and you're talking about Apple stuff too. Oh man,
Would you believe these are friends, right, folks?
I tell you. Hey, how am I coming in?
You're
How?
coming in very, very well, and your wife
Okay.
is here.
Yes, I know. Yes, I saw her. I
Thank you,
said,
Patricia. I was so
yeah.
busy reading my article, I didn't even see that you had put something in there. Okay, so hopefully everybody's in. I don't know if Ren's got back here. He was the first one in the streams.
Hey, what happened there?
I had
What?
started two streams accidentally, and I killed the first one. And Renz was in that one because he was
Yeah.
already at work. But I'm guessing he got busy at work because Annette was also in the first one, and she found this one right away. So hopefully, Renz is just busy at work. So anyway, were you able to hear that story that I just did about the emergency SOS system? Oh, I just lost my Will. You're there, but I don't hear you. Can we hear you, Will? I guess we're not hearing.
What's up, George?
Oh, there you are. Okay. All right. Will is here, and Mike is back.
What happened? Did you hear that
didn't-
noise?
No, you just disappeared like you got out of the stream and came right back in.
Okay.
Wasn't
Yeah.
anything I did this time.
I'm sorry. It's just like all of a sudden.
There's Will.
Yeah.
There's Will.
There's the Mr. Eye Sheep.
There's a working
eye
man.
sheep.
Now that's a working man. Let me tell you.
He
You
is.
hear this, George?
Yeah.
George, you hear this nonsense?
Yes,
You-
I hear this nonsense.
So-
Did
so
you
I'm
hear the
gonna spill
story I
beans,
just
buddy.
read, Will?
Look
Yo.
at that. You see the new webcam. I should look crispy on there.
You do look crispy.
Well, it looks like you got look. I'm not joking. It's like wait a minute. Like
You,
I don't know over
you
here.
have a
like,
lot
there's
of
some,
light
like
coming from your left, Will, but not a lot of light coming
nah,
from your
yeah,
right.
but
Oh,
you
yeah,
do
yeah,
look.
yeah. That's because I ain't got no lights on.
Okay.
Well, lighten up, Will. Oh,
Yeah, you hear this? You hear this nonsense from Mike?
you know, George. Do you know that this guy, this
Mike.
Just want to let you know,
I don't
Renz
know.
did make it
Mike.
back.
Yeah,
Mike.
okay.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Renz, that
just-
was my fault because I started two by accident.
I just woke up, right?
Everybody's back now. I'm very happy.
At
No.
8:20. Listen,
Yeah.
Mike, I boxed it up on, I don't remember what day.
Wait. You boxed what up?
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah. That this
Listen,
little weasel over
wait,
here was so
me
questioning
tell
me
you-
about
Yeah,
he
give
had
us-
the
give us
Pixel
the
7
whole
Pro the
story
whole
here.
time. He had it the whole time
Okay.
last Friday.
He had the
Let me-
Pixel 7 or what?
Let
The
me
Pixel
tell
7
you the
Pro?
story, George.
Okay, go
I'm gonna
ahead.
tell you the
Oh,
story.
Okay.
You know me, I always get a deal.
Okay.
So what was my deal, Mike? Dang. Okay, so 256, it was $9.99. The trade-in was $247 off.
What did you trade in?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna trade in the iPhone, but anyway, 247 off of 7 something.
yeah, one of your kids'
So-
old iPhones.
So then, like I was telling y'all last week, if you wait, they gotta honor that deal. So it was
Yeah, that's what I
another.
thought you were going to do.
So it was another 159 off. So anyway, I get it, right? They give me my 159 refund. So,
So
Mike,
you
this
did
is what I
do
was-
that. Okay, good.
This is what I was telling you, Mike. So it came up to 905 to it would have been 650 something.
Okay.
But anyway, so Mike, I just woke up, right? And I sent it back on, I want to say Tuesday, Wednesday, because they got it today.
So how many days did you have it?
Not even a week.
Not even a week. He got a separate line. He got a Mint Mobile line.
Let me tell
He
you,
was-
George, I know
Okay.
what the problem is.
Go ahead.
It's too skinny and the size. Because George, I always want.
This was the Pro version, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
always
like
want.
Mike, I just have the regular. So
I always want the best camera. And
Okay.
they mess you up because they don't give you the best camera on the small phone.
okay.
Bad enough your battery's smaller. So I always get the Pro.
Okay.
And I tried, George. I tried. Mike said I didn't. I did.
No, you didn't try. You
Mike,
didn't
I
try.
tried.
No,
Listen,
you didn't
listen.
try. You didn't try.
Mike,
You,
listen, I'm telling you.
George, I'm
Listen,
telling you, he'll be back. He'll be going wondering. He'll be questioning me.
Listen,
How
listen,
is this the new
listen,
feature?
listen.
What's this on Google?
Hold on. Let me tell you, Mike. Let me tell
Well,
you.
yeah,
Mike.
you need to
you
tell
gotta-
us what you didn't like about it,
I'm
other than
telling
you
you,
said it was
the
thin.
size.
Man, you didn't
The
try.
size, right? The size, because it's huge. And
But you wanted huge, you said.
no, I don't.
No, he doesn't.
This is the size for me, George. This
Yeah.
is the 14.
Okay.
See, look at that, George. I'm on the
Now that's
island
not
with
that's
you.
not the max. That's just a 14,
No,
right?
I'm on the island with George right about now.
On the
Okay.
island.
Yeah, we are on the island. How's it go
Okay.
with
Oh,
island boys?
you're on an island, all right.
Me and George are island boys right now.
That's true.
So
But it's supposed to be island girl. Oh, never mind.
the
No,
size, and then it's like, it's just, you know, me with the 2 lines. That's just a hassle. But I can't do it. I can't. I think.
So was it only the size that bothered you? Did you like the pictures and all in the video and all
The
that stuff?
cameras. But you know what? The camera's amazing, and I really didn't try this one yet. Even though the front camera on here is better, but
Okay.
I didn't really try it yet. But I'm sure that the camera on here is great.
The camera is great on here. Trust
This
me.
doesn't overheat.
No.
And it's got iMessage. The size is perfect. You
Okay.
get the same cameras on both sized phones. It doesn't give you, you know what I mean? You get the smaller phone. It don't mean you want a weaker camera. It don't
Well,
even make
sure.
sense. I'm still buying
But that's because you're getting the pro. You're not getting the regular.
yeah, but so why doesn't Google make a
I
pro?
agree.
You know what
I
I mean?
agree.
Why does the pro phone got to be 10 inches wide and all? Like, that's stupid. I'm not trying to buy a new monitor.
And I think, to me, the cameras on the regular 7 are awesome.
Yeah,
I just think
no, George, I know they're great. Probably they're
Yeah.
probably fantastic, but
right.
you miss out on a whole camera. That's
Well,
stupid.
yeah, that's true. That's
If
true.
somebody's willing to pay
You're missing
for
a
it,
lens. Yeah.
yeah, why would you lose it? But Mike, like I was telling you, they got it today, and the thing came today, the refund. I just looked and saw the email.
Cool.
So I tried, Mike. I'm gonna wait till next year, and
I think you should just try the regular 7.
that's what Mike said, but it's not.
I'm
You
telling
should-
you, I am loving my 7.
I'm
Yeah,
You know, I'm a camera guy.
all I want him to do is that he can experience Android and he
That's
can
what
pick it
Mike
apart
said.
and he could and I don't know.
Yeah, but Mike, when you say he can experience Android, this guy probably knows more about Android
I've
than
done
you and
it,
I.
though.
Come on.
This is the other thing, like it's not. So did you see the thing I sent George where it says they're changing the always on display so that it's like Android
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Like they're eliminating reasons for you to even want an Android.
Well, yeah. See, now
They're-
that the iPhone
they're one by
always on
one,
display
like,
is so
kicking off
awesome, they are making it harder.
They're-
And that story that you asked me to hold, which is the next story, Mike, that does make that point. So
They're picking off.
wait,
reasons for
Don
you
is saying,
not
I
to-
like my 7 Series Pro. Good camera experience for me. Yeah, see, he loves it.
Yeah, the camera's great, but before.
Yeah, Will didn't like the size.
You know what though? Like I was telling Mike, so they had. Remember, George? We had the 1 was small, but it was
Right.
it was bigger than what Apple was doing. The
Right.
2, the 3, the 4 was perfect because it was the
I
same.
thought the 4 was kind of I had the 4A. Never mind, not the 4.
Yeah, the 4 XL was a perfect size. The 5, and then they
Yeah.
just lost their mind when they because they're in the like Note territory. Like it's like you're getting a Note.
I love my 6 Pro, but it is
It-
monstrous.
It would be like if I get a Pro Max, which I can't do.
Yeah, and that's
But
what
you
I had
always went for the
that's what I
Pro
had,
Max
the Pro Max.
before.
I
You
know,
always
but
went
then
for
I
the
was
big
like,
one, the
but
big
then I was
Apple.
like, but
But
then
see, and that makes sense because I'm so much bigger than you guys, and I
This is-
I do have
this is
big
what
hands, so
happened.
the big phones are good for me. you know?
Mike, I had the was it the 11? One of them was a Pro Max, right? And I
Mhm.
tried it.
And with the
after
XS, I think you had the XS, the S
Actually,
model.
but they didn't have a Max.
They didn't have a big. They had a big one. Didn't they have a big one?
They had a big one. I don't know. One of them I had a big one, but after that one, I said I'll never do it again because it's too big. And then they give you the same camera on both. At first they didn't. One of them they didn't. Then the next one it was the same. That's what
It was the same, yeah.
See, so if they give you the same, Mike, listen, Mike, you just gotta try it. You gotta try it.
But see, you don't like the Max. I love my Pro Max. I just love it. I love the size. But you know, like I said, I am bigger than you guys, so that kind of makes sense.
Mike, it doesn't overheat when you record.
Not at all. Well,
Mike, listen,
the 7 doesn't overheat when you record.
Overheat. My 7 didn't overheat in today's vlog.
And my 7 doesn't overheat it either when I'm doing. You know, the 5A was the worst one for me. The 6 Pro overheats a little bit once in a while. That's true.
Mike, listen. This is what you do, Mike. Go get an iPhone. I got a 7. What is that? A 7? A 45-inch 7. I'll sell it to you for $120 when you get your iPhone.
There you go.
Wait. What do you got now? What are you saying?
7.
A Series 7. A Series 7. Look, see, I got a Series 7 for you.
And a watch. Oh, you're talking a watch. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You gotta get back in the game here, Mike. You're playing.
He wants you on the juice.
Mike, listen, you're playing, Mike. You're playing. Android is
playing. I'm not playing. I'm quite happy with all my Android.
Look, Anthony, my Project Stat 13 is saying, don't do it, Mike.
Thank you.
Android.
Look, I got rid of my iPhone because I knew I wasn't getting anything out of it.
Mike, because you got the smallest iPhone. That's like me. You got you got an iPhone that's like a toy. You got the smallest
That's
iPhone.
probably true.
Of course you're not gonna like it.
You see what my Project 13 says, Will.
I ain't doing it. I'm all Android.
Of course you're not gonna like it.
I'm all Android. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm glad I like both and I have both.
Mike, you gotta stop. You're killing me, Mike. You're killing me. You're killing me.
I think it is unfair, Mike, that you say he doesn't really give it a chance. I don't think you give iPhone enough of a chance.
Mike,
really.
Whoa.
Because he's right. The one you had was like a toy.
George,
2.5 years with an iPhone and
with a mini,
two iPads. No,
I mean, an SE, right?
No, listen.
Good to have you here, brother.
Wait a minute. I thought an iPhone was an iPhone. That's all. I thought an iPhone is an iPhone, right?
Mike.
Will is the expert here, and he says it's like a toy. I got to agree.
It is the same software, right? But that's like me, just like you just told me I should try the 7. You should try a regular sized phone. You didn't even try a real phone. You tried the phone.
I think I got to agree with him, Mike.
And you were like,
but wait a minute. I'm not going to know because he didn't give the Pixel a real shake. He didn't try.
Mike,
you know why I did?
Years of experience with Android phones compared to what you have with iPhone.
I'm talking about right now, the Pixel 7 Pro.
Mike,
but I'm trying to help, Will.
The problem with the phone, the software was good, all that stuff was great. The problem was it was too big, and I feel like if I'm giving you, and even though I was getting a great deal, if I'm giving you all that money, then you should give me the same cameras because I want the best cameras. I might not even use it but 2 times, but I want.
But keep in mind with the 7 and the 7 Pro, you're paying $300 less, even though you're gonna not quite the same camera.
Yeah, I know, but I want to pay more. I'll give you more money if you give me the better camera. You know what I mean? That's just like I buy this Pro Max, whatever, and and they give me the cameras that I'm paying for. That's what I want. But Google keeps doing it, and they still haven't learned yet. They did it on the 6, on the 7. Make them the same.
Mike says he's team Android. I say, I am neither. I am both. I think I'll probably always stay both.
Look. I always describe Will and I. You know that Mad magazine. You know spy versus spy. Okay. We're both trying to outdo each other, and then that's what's going to happen.
See, and I'm just the opposite of you guys. I love my Pixels and I love my iPhone.
George, you know what happened? Google lost me because their camera used to be the best camera.
The best of the best, yeah.
And then
it is the best.
As everybody
No, Mike, for the last year and a half, I think Samsung is just as good, sometimes better.
As everybody else caught up to their camera, it's like it kind of
at least iPhone and Samsung can match pretty much anything Pixel does these days, in my opinion.
I'm about to see if they change the trade-in because that deal was sweet that I had.
Okay.
Let's see.
Renz is thinking about getting the 13 mini this Christmas. Okay. I hope you're pleased with it. Because I held one guy at Works Mini. It felt like I was holding a postage stamp. But I have big hands.
I told you my plan was a good plan. Because if you would have waited, well, you did it already. If you would have waited, you would have got the Black Friday deal plus $250 off. You would have got it for the same. Well, you didn't want a Pro.
I wonder what my iPhone would have been.
Look what Anthony says about me.
Anthony says they didn't change the deal. They didn't change it. I thought they were going to change it. They didn't.
Anthony says I'm stuck in the gray area because I love both.
Yeah,
you had an SE.
Yeah, he ain't the dark side. He ain't the
Mike, you had an SE. Which one?
The 2020 version.
That would be the second gen, I think, right?
Second
what was your storage?
128.
290.
That's what I got for a trade-in.
So you would have saved. Well, for you, it would have been, I guess, $450 off. 460.
Really?
Yeah, with the trade-in plus the 150 that they're giving off now. That's how my price was all the way down to $6 something if I would have did the trade.
And here's Ted. Ted, I just sent you I was just about to. Oh, wait a minute. I was just about to tell you to check the second link. All right, now we got all four. But well, supposedly Ted is here, but of course,
it's wonderful, George. George, this phone is great. I love it.
I agree.
That's too funny. And he says, George, stop being friends with everyone and pick a side. Yeah.
I think I can love both because I do love both. And Renz is saying, come to the dark side. We have cupcakes. My Project 13.
Yeah. What happened? Why can't Ted get in? He just sent a message says you guys. Wait a minute. Are we still streaming? Who's this? Is this?
Yeah, we're still streaming. It says no camera or mic.
This is what he sent me. Are you guys okay?
Yeah, he sent that to me too, and I thought since I just brought him in, but he's in this one. Anyway, I'm going to tell him go to the second link because the second link is the one that's working, and that's what we're on right now. It looks like he's on here, but he's.
Mike, you know what I think too? Well, now I'm in eSIM land. But you know what I think?
Yeah. How was that?
Okay.
Share that. First off.
Let me tell you. And I can't even get mad at Apple because it's not their fault.
Okay.
This is what happened.
It's never Apple's fault.
I sent you the picture, Mike. I don't know if you ever set up an iPhone coming from an iPhone. But anyway, it's wonderful, right? It just tells you, like, use this iPhone. So, I have Xfinity. So they did the setup part. I had to get like a thing from them said activate.
That's Comcast. No wonder you got problems. That's garbage.
No, look, yeah, listen. So this is what they did. So I hit the button. It sets up. Everything's working great, right? All of a sudden, and then I can't lie, and I'm not lying. This is what happened. Maybe like a week before, no, right when I came back from vacation, it did it, and then a little before that too. This is what it did. People would call me, and my phone calls would go straight to voicemail. I would see it on my phone that somebody was calling, but I couldn't even pick up. So I called Comcast and the guy would fix it. So me, I Google it and I see like other people have the same problem, Samsung, everybody. So I'm like, it's them. So I come back from vacation. it did it the next day. So I'm like, maybe because I was international, had all that stuff on my phone. Right?
You see, Ted, you
Yeah.
see Ted's
There you
comment.
go.
Ted,
Perfect.
Ted
Yeah,
is right.
That's perfect. It ain't Apple's
Yeah.
fault.
All right.
All you got to
Yeah.
do is Google it, Ted. Just Google the problem, you'll see it. So anyway,
And DeMolin says never had a problem going from Android to Android.
I
Okay,
didn't
he's got a
I didn't
point.
have a problem going from Apple to Apple. My phone connected in 5
No,
minutes.
your problem is Comcast. Comcast
yeah,
is
but this
garbage.
is what happened,
Comcast
George.
is
Let me
straight
tell
up
you.
garbage. And they can call it Infinity all they want. It's still Comcast.
So I'm at work, right? 8:30. All of a sudden, I told one of the people at work, I'm like, call my phone. So they're like, I did. And I'm like, oh, here we go.
Oh boy.
So I call Comcast.
Yeah, what did he tell you he did to fix it?
This is what happened. When the guy fixed it last week, I asked him, I said, what did you do to fix it? Because I know it's going to happen again. And he just said, I solved your problem today. You know how they do. I was like,
see, this is Comcast. They won't. They are the most. This
like,
is why they're always in the top 10 of most hated companies in the country. Always.
I can't stand them. So
I agree.
He fixed the problem when it happened yesterday, right? George, it took me forever. But in the meantime, this is what the nice lady, don't want to call her stupid, but this is what she does. So you can't fix the problem, right? You got to sit here and you have to get to tier 2 because I looked online. Everybody's like, make sure you get to tier 2 because tier 1 is going to run you in circles. So I knew this from last week. I call. I have a phone. My phone's working, right? They keep telling you reset the network, do this, do stuff that you're already going to do. The one person on the phone got me so mad because you know what they said? It says that you should get a new SIM card. And I said,
what?
Yeah. So I tell the guy, because this is after I had already hung up on that lady. I was like, that lady obviously didn't know what she was doing because I have an iPhone 14 Pro. They don't have a SIM card. There's no SIM card on the iPhones this year. So he's like, I understand. Because they're like, go to the store. I said,
they don't understand eSIM?
I guess not, but they work there. But I'm like, the store doesn't know how to fix it. This is your problem. This is something on your network. So hours and hours later, right? The person fixes it. This is what she said, because I said, what did you do? Well, what I did was I had to turn your features back on. So obviously my phone, you know how I can describe it? It works like, you know how before there was call waiting and you were on a phone call, it would just make your phone busy. It was just like that, except the person on the other end, my phone would ring, but it was like I didn't have call waiting. That's how it would happen.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
He was like, I had to turn features back on.
And this is something screwed up at Comcast.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Is this because of your international plan that you're wrong?
No. This is something over there that and from looking at what everybody else says, it just seems like it just happens random. Like your feature, like your phone won't work. Because I Googled it and I'm like, the guy's like, yeah, I just got a Galaxy S22 and my wife's phone and her phone calls go straight to voicemail. He did some weird thing where he turned off Bluetooth.
My experience with Comcast is most of the time, if they do any maintenance anywhere on their network, you're going to have a problem and they're going to cause a problem.
So I don't know what they did. But before we were done, I politely told the lady, like, listen, I'm done. I told the lady, I said, I'll be leaving y'all because I can't keep doing this. I said, and the problem is it's only my phone. Nobody else's phone goes through this. My wife's phone, my kid's phone, nobody else's. I was like, I'm leaving y'all network. I don't know where I'm going to go yet, but I'm leaving. I can't.
Well, hey, buddy, you could join. They don't have the I don't know if they got eSIM. You can join Google Fi.
Google Fi does have eSIM. eSIM started on Google Fi on the iPhone.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
I didn't know they did it.
Years ago.
Yeah, it was quite annoying. So yeah, they had me on there, and I was And this is the worst part. I had ordered my wife's phone, and it hasn't come yet. But I'm like, her phone comes Monday.
Okay.
So I told the guy, I said, I'm not even sure if I want to switch her phone because maybe her features are going to turn
US Mobile?
Exactly.
US Mobile is pretty good, too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna switch to somebody, but then I
stick with T-Mobile. But you see, because of Comcast, that's why I come over to Eleanor's house to broadcast because I don't have to deal with Comcast here.
Yeah, Comcast sucks.
George, are you on your hotspot today?
No. At Eleanor's house, I'm on.
I forget you're at her house. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I'll always come here because here I'm on the fastest internet on the planet. Usually, when they start testing who's the fastest on the planet, it's either here in Chattanooga or Google, and that goes back and forth between those two. Nobody else is that.
Mike, you see what he said? They don't have any Pixel service centers.
Yeah, I saw that. What Ren said. Yeah.
Yeah, the Google. Yeah, Mike, I still love the Pixel. I know it's a great phone, but Apple just keeps making it hard for me to be like, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Well, see, now
I was gonna go all in. I was gonna get the
with iOS 16. Apple's getting so good. Why would you go back to Android?
Yeah, it's hard to go back now. It really is, because for real, the apps are the same, right? You get the same apps, slightly better to me on iPhone, and you get them first on iPhone. But
that's true.
The problem is the only thing that I really like, that I think I like the most about the Pixel, is call screen. That's it.
Okay,
that's the only thing that's like,
that makes sense.
I do like that, but it's not like a necessity. And then to have me carrying two phones, I would have to be on T-Mobile and get T-Mobile digits, but then I would lose iMessage. Like it would be.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. I told you could do call forwarding if you wanted to, and I don't know.
I keep turning it on.
See, George, you didn't want to try. They want to try. I do that for my phones. I do that for my
Pixel 8, because in the comment section, when it asked me why I was sending it back, I gave them a whole paragraph.
Okay.
So if they listen, Pixel 8, I'll give it a shot again.
That would be nice.
We'll be visiting this again like we did last year, okay?
Yeah, because I'm not buying. What's it called? I'm about to call it the SE. I'm not buying the A model. I don't want that.
Okay.
You know,
I want the top of the top, whatever it is, because I'll give y'all my money. But like I was telling you, Mike, the 4, to me, I love the size. I like the design of it.
A lot of people like the 4. I remember that.
It had Face ID, but the battery sucked. I was actually looking at it, and they're only $200 on Swap. I was thinking about it, but the battery life.
Wait a minute. Why would you get a Pixel 4 when it's done with its updates? You want something that's
because the size is so great. Because honestly, Mike,
why you ain't gonna get this? You ain't gonna get all the. You're not gonna get nothing anymore.
Mike, if you get a 5, it's going to overheat.
Mike, it's crazy. I don't really like the material used. I don't like how it's all bubbly, and I don't really like all that.
And see, I like that.
I like it when Android was right before they jumped to that.
See, I like the material stuff a lot.
Right before they went to that, it was perfect to me. Like now, you can't even. I'm trying to remember when I was messing with the 7. Remember before, George? I don't know if Mike, if you had a Pixel where you could change the shape of your icons.
Yes, I remember
that away, right?
Yeah. You're starting to sound like a get off my lawn, old man. You know that.
You can't do it no more, right?
I don't think so, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, you used to be able to change the shape of your icons, change the font of the clock on the thing, and all that.
Look at Ted's comment.
Mike prefers. No, that was me. I liked that one. I liked it before they went to this.
Yeah, that's more Will than Mike, I think, Ted.
This thing is like so bubbly now. Like I was like, oh, I'll never use these widgets. The clock is all circular like a sun.
I like that.
I don't like it. I like it.
You don't want it to be like a son. You'd rather it be like a daughter.
Wait a minute. I know you're going. I know what you're going to rebuttal with me. But if you want to change the shape of the icons, just download the launcher.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I like the Pixel launcher.
That takes.
Because Mike, listen.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't remember which Android it was. But it must have been the 5 you could do it. Before they did this update, you on the Pixel, if you held down the button, it had like home screen settings, and you could change the no.
That's what the man thinks you're making excuses, all right?
You can make it circle, you can make it square, you can make it. It had a bunch of because I like making them circle. It had, now they went all the way to the
So
other
he
side.
liked that you could make him circles, but he doesn't like round clocks. I mean, come on now.
No,
Yeah.
George, that round clock
That's
is
a good
bit
point,
much.
George. You're right.
You know why, George? Because it's not uniform. That's why I think I don't like the
Okay.
widgets
Okay.
because they're not uniform. Like this widget will look this way, but
Yeah,
then
and
in the
Ted, I
podcast
agree
app,
with you 100%.
widget looks
Pixel Launcher
square,
is pretty much
and then-
lawn chair. I agree 100%.
Well,
I
then
love
get lawn chair. You can change the shape of the. You get that launcher.
Yeah.
And you
That's true.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I don't-
lawn
I
chair
don't
is
like
almost
the fire
exactly the
truck.
same.
don't
I
you
don't
tie
like
your
adding-
icons in the same spot. You can't put them anywheres. The
But-
widgets are
Mike-
half baked. I
Mike,
think
Will,
on
Will,
my
your excuses are getting
hold
weaker.
on, Mike. George, I'm sorry we're hijacking your show, but
Go
what's
ahead, it's all right.
half-baked about the widgets on Android? They're not the reason you have a widget on iPhone is different than the reason you're using it on that you have it.
Go ahead, tell us the difference.
Function's different. Like on Android, you can interact or whatever with some of their widgets, but I would rather have them where the widget is all going to have a uniform look and Apple is strict or whatever with their rules.
That's
then
true.
Google has a free for all where like some widgets are square, some are
That
this,
is true.
some are that.
Especially
Your
right
home
now.
screen
That's
looks a
true.
mess.
Yeah.
Like you would have to. So this is how I explain it, right? So if I have Android, I have to like look at the app and see what their widgets look like before I decide.
But Ted makes a good point. You put the lawn chair launcher on there, problem solved.
Because they might not have updated their widgets to material, whatever.
Yeah, they're done well. I just got done doing my
Everybody should be updated.
Uniform is boring to me. Yeah.
See, uniform, and I'm sure there are a lot of Android people who think very much like that.
It's not though, because at least you know
it's not to a guy who's drinking the apple juice, but it might be to a lot of Android people.
Mike, let me see your home screen. I bet you it looks uniform.
Yeah, mine looks pretty uniform.
Because you want it.
Let me see my Android screen.
You want what Apple gives you. You just want it on Android. I want what Android gives you.
Mine looks like
See?
That's me. That's true. But hey.
I picked on him when he was
it's
here.
boring. I'm 77 years old. I'm supposed to be boring.
I mean, that's what I have right now, but I haven't really sat down to customize.
Mike, what is that? Go to the left. Switch your. That's a nice wallpaper. Let me see. What is that icon down there?
Which one?
Right before the bottom. It's right before. I don't know. Is that an icon? Look above the phone, because it's for me. It's backwards. The one above. Oh, that's a widget.
That's a widget. Yeah.
Oh, see, that's. What is that?
All of a sudden, you don't like your widget.
No, because I thought it was just a single icon. Now I see it's now it's clear. Okay, now I got it.
Okay.
And that's this is my battery, and I got my note taken.
Oh, that's your notes. See,
my Google Keep.
Oh God, yeah.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
Eleanor says she's boring too because
no.
looks like that on her Android too.
Look! I can see this picture. It's not peppered with app icons, and if I don't like an app that's in here, I move it down.
Yeah, and don't go by Eleanor. She's not as old as me, but she's old too.
Mike, I can add a page to my thing too now.
Oh,
and leave it empty.
Yeah. Look. I want to be Beans. See, Will's in here now. Really going to go. We're really going to start tossing each other here. So this CNET, George, let's talk about this CNET article here. That really.
Story. All right, wait. Let
me gets me. Okay.
Let me share screen. We'll go to the next story because that's right up the alley of what we're talking about.
Friday Night Tech. Oh, George, did you do the one about the radar?
The radar.
You mean
satellite? You did that.
Satellite. Yeah, you just did that before.
Yeah, did that one. Yeah, that one was awesome. I think Apple did a great job there.
Yes, they did. It's going to save lives.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Mike, here you go.
Well,
it's up, and whenever you want to give it a shot, go for it.
Oh yes, here we go. This is my kind of article.
Okay.
Oh my God, no!
Well, we'll see
Oh.
her reason. We'll see her reasons as we go along.
Well, okay.
Come on, Mike. You got this one.
Go ahead.
For 10 long years, I defended my decision on to own an Android to countless haters. Now, let's stop right here. To
Okay.
countless haters. That's pretty rough language there, don't
Well,
you
Yeah,
think?
but those are
Okay.
her friends. We
Listen.
don't know about her friends.
No, you know why this is why I think she's calling them haters. Because remember, she's been 10 years. Android was pretty bad
Right.
10 years ago. But
Wait a
just
minute,
like-
you just said was bad. So it
No.
must be pretty darn good
It's
right
better.
now.
It's
Yeah,
better.
But you
No,
don't want to try it out.
It's better. But Mike, just like that guy on Twitter was like, I would love to send a message from RCS versus sending a message on iMessage. Just
Yeah, I
think
saw that.
about
I
it.
saw that.
10 years ago, for the past however many years, Android just got a decent messaging thing. So for the past 10 years,
That's true.
Android people have been having the worst messaging experience ever. So I'm
That's
sure that's
true.
why
That is
people
true.
are like,
Mike, you know that's the
"Just
truth.
get an iPhone. Just get
And
an
and,
iPhone."
and,
Why are
and,
you
and as
doing
they put themselves, they as in Google,
Yeah.
has put themselves behind the eight ball,
So,
way behind the eight
She
ball.
should be,
Yeah, I
she should
know
be
them all.
thankful that she has friends like this that were trying to look out for her best interests. Because
Sorry, I'm sorry. What's that? I'm sorry.
she should be thankful that she has friends that care about her best interests. And
Okay,
trying to
we've
get her off of
only
the
done
platform.
one sentence from the article.
Well,
You
that
know
was
that, right?
right out of the gate. Right out of the
Okay.
gate.
Because
She said she's calling who would be her friends.
Mike, she's
Haters?
thankful.
She
She's
calls
thankful.
them friends later in the article. That's true.
She's
Okay.
thankful. She's
But
thankful
but
for her
but
friends.
okay.
today.
But as long last and after months of going back and forth, I traded my beloved Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus for an iPhone 14 Pro. And so far, I have no regrets, especially now that I'm no longer bullied for having it in green text.
So she's
more-
she's got Will's phone too.
Okay.
No, yeah. She's
Yes,
smart.
she does.
She's smart.
Okay.
It may sound like I'm being over dramatic, but that trip to Verizon store signaled a big shift for me. I've always prided myself on not buying the Apple hype, despite of years pestering from friends to switch to an iPhone. I push back, maintaining that I like being different from the masses. Everyone around me has an iPhone, and everyone has an iPhone. It felt good to defy the norm, and for years I stuck with my Samsung Galaxy devices, which I still believe are incredible phones.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is going to be a great one. Keep going, Mike.
Oh yeah, but after conversations with friends and family about what I could get from an iPhone that I could never get from Android, I started to consider my stance. Yes, I love my Galaxy S10 Plus and everything it offered: a top-notch camera, customization interface, an object eraser which removes unwanted people or objects from your pictures. Pixel phones have a similar feature.
And so do iPhones, for that matter.
They do.
You can do the same thing with an iPhone. Of course, you can.
How, George? I'm serious. How?
I
Dude.
showed it one day. I did a demo like a year and a half ago, right here in Elmo's house. I have to look it up again, but you can do the same
Did
exact.
you make a video of this?
Huh?
You should have made a video of that. You should have made a video of
I
that.
believe I did. But anyway, you can do it with an iPhone too.
But wait a minute. Are you doing that with an iPhone from iPhone's own, like how it is in the Pixel and Samsung? It's right in the camera app, or do you have to download an app?
No, you have to do. It's right in the camera app, but I forgot how. It's just been a while. I did this on the 12 Pro.
All right. Well, there we go, George. Bring it out. Find that video and repost it for all of us. So,
All right,
okay?
or I'll do it.
Everybody heard him now. He
All
claimed that he could do it. Object, but at the end of the day, there was one big thing my Android could never offer: a seamless way to communicate with my friends on iPhone.
That's true. She didn't have iMessage.
Okay. I've been told countless times that I ruin group chats by turning all the text green, and this is because Apple refuses to make iMessage compatible on Android phones. So when you're message someone who isn't iOS, you'll see green bubble text instead of the standard blue ones. Because this feels superficial complaint, it's 100% Apple's fault. I brushed that aside.
And I agree.
Well, brushed it aside, but yet I don't know.
Well, she hasn't switched. This is before she switched, you were saying.
Until I realized I was missing out on other more significant benefits of owning an iPhone. Unless you use a third-party app like WhatsApp, there's no easy way to send high-resolution photos and videos directly between an Android phone and an iPhone.
And this is what Will has said all along.
But
right?
This is gonna be a great one, George.
Go ahead. Will has been saying that for years. That's all I got to say.
I can't read no more. I can't read no more. Okay, I can't read no more about on this article. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
All right, I'll read.
Look, he even got his glasses on.
I got it. This is why her friends were telling her 10 years ago, just get an iPhone, because look how long it took Google to make messaging decent on Android.
True.
Okay, now that's besides the software being glitchy and stuff happening, your phone slowing down and all that mess, phones exploding over there in Android land.
Mike, you and I have dealt with some glitchy stuff with
just imagine when she's at the party and she's like, my app froze, and the guy who doesn't know about tech is like, oh, you got to clear the cache. Like, come on. That was Android.
The biggest problem Mike and I have with RCS is somebody would send you you send somebody a message and never knew that didn't get delivered.
I'm just talking about just the apps in general, because on Android, that's always the thing for me, where something goes wrong. They're like, go to the settings and clear the cache. Like, who wants to deal with that? Your phone's just supposed to work. But anyway, let me see. Let me go. Okay, where are we at? Okay, unless I use third-party apps, there's no easy way to send high-resolution photos and videos directly between an Android phone and an iPhone. I was okay with just using WhatsApp until I began to envy my friends who were instantaneously airdropping pictures and videos after our hangouts. WhatsApp also diminishes the quality of videos, and Google Drive takes a lot longer to upload videos.
Which is also true.
Okay. And I got something about that too. But wait, from the Pixel. It also was frustrating that apps like TikTok diminished my camera quality on Android. Comparing TikTok videos taken on an iPhone, even an older version like an iPhone 10, with those taken on my Galaxy S10 Plus, is like night and day. Really? On my Galaxy, TikTok distorted the colors and blurred everything in the most unflattering and unrealistic way. That's because it's recording from the screen. On the iPhone, videos are crisp and clear and appear just as they should. For someone who uses TikTok as much as I do, this was important. These reasons, along with the fact that I already use a MacBook and would therefore benefit from the Apple ecosystem, led me to start changing my mind about owning an iPhone. Throwing features like the new always-on display that's going to work like Android on the 14 models, something I absolutely loved on my Galaxy devices, and fun new elements like Dynamic Island, and suddenly I was sold on the idea of switching over. Yes, I had to fight off feelings of being a sellout, but I realized that ultimately it's just a phone, and no matter what you do, people will have unsolicited opinions about what device you're using. My Galaxy worked well for me for many years, but now I'm ready for something new, and so far I have no regrets. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. They have no regrets. So, about what you
can check out her video if you want to see it
on the Pixel. When you start up RCS, there's like an option on there where it's like sign into Google Photos so you can send high resolution photos or videos, because what it's trying to do is make you send that link, because there's that thing like she was saying, you can't send on Google on RCS. Look on the thing. I guarantee you signed into Google Photos on there, because if you want to send me a video that's 3 minutes or whatever, it's going to make you send me a link So
No,
the
wait,
device-
Damone says it's Apple's fault for not wanting to make iMessage for Android and implement RCS.
No,
But
listen,
Damone,
listen.
RCS
It is.
does
It
give
is.
you problems. Mike and I
No,
have
listen.
both had problems with
It is.
RCS.
It is Apple's fault, but why would Apple, who is trying to sell phones, give Google a software thing that they made? That's dumb. Nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah, that's probably
Apple
true.
made iMessage.
Let's
So
go back.
basically,
Wait a minute.
So listen. If
I
Apple
got
did-
a question about this
if
video
Apple-
and photo
if
thing.
Apple- go ahead.
So my question is, are you saying that I've snapped pictures and sent them to you,
Pictures
And-
are fine, Mike. Pictures work. but
or videos?
Video.
Okay, if I take a 3-minute video,
Go ahead and send it to me.
It's going to take forever to get to him through RCS.
It's probably not going to
compared,
send or
compared to iMessage.
no. I won't even. If I get it, it's going to look terrible because they're going to compress it. But it's probably going to ask you to send me. It's going to make you send it to me as a link
That's probably
so
true.
that I can watch it on Google Photos because Google's gonna handle
Yeah,
it on.
because I
their
know a
end.
few months ago I tried to send Eleanor's daughter one, and it gave me all kinds of problems.
But why would Apple? I understand what everybody's saying, but why would Apple be like, yeah, we're gonna give in and go to RCS to help our competition? Essentially, is what they're doing.
Well, that's probably true.
Why would you do that? Apple.
You wouldn't.
It's not Apple's. It's Apple's job.
but
is
wait a
to
minute.
make money.
So Apple should do the right thing, and
No,
it's been proven. They'll
George,
block
Wait,
RCS.
what's the right thing? What's the right thing?
The right thing is, well, first off, it's everybody talks about that the SMS is outdated and it's unsecure. There's
What's
no
that got to
encryption.
do with Apple?
Well, no.
Nothing.
wait a minute.
because his argument is
But Apple's all concerned about privacy and
They
security,
should-
so they should
So-
block that. They should block
So
those
listen,
messages.
No, but listen, this is why they shouldn't block it.
I don't see why Apple should do the right
This is-
thing. I don't see where
George,
it's Apple's
Mike,
place
This
to
is
have
why
to do
they
this.
shouldn't, because Apple is telling you, Apple wants to sell phones. They have to be responsible to all their shareholder people, and their job is to make money. If I give up something that's going to make my company money, Apple will probably be getting,
Okay.
I don't know what you call it. Their
Will-
shareholders will be
Will,
mad
what
because
is the Mullen saying here?
then you can't complain about high-res videos when Apple. Yeah, I'm not complaining about it because Mike knows if he wants to send me a video, he's got to send me a link. I
No,
don't
no,
mind
no,
it.
no. Let me
I think
wait.
the people, you know what? I think the
Okay,
people who
but-
were complaining about this messaging thing were the Android users because they were the ones who were gotten. People would tap back to messages and it would be like so and so liked an image on their phone, or they couldn't be in the group chat because people were complaining that they messed it up. Because if there's 10 iPhone users and an Android user, it messes up the group chat. It's not Apple's fault that iMessage was out and people were using it, and then an Android person is their friend and they get into the thing. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
either you have a decision, either you get an iPhone or you deal with your friends who might complain.
And you do run into people who say they
Or-
got an iPhone simply because
But-
everybody uses iMessage.
Or you use WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever, because there's still other messaging apps. But the problem is, Mike, like this lady said, and she did say messaging. That was what made her buy it. But she was
Right.
already using a MacBook.
Right.
And for real, they're just phones, but Apple gives you both options. On an iPhone, you can still use Google. You
And-
can
and
you
when-
can
and-
still
and
But,
Mike,
use-
you
okay,
have
now
to
wait a
admit,
minute, wait a minute,
when
wait a
you
minute, wait a
get
minute.
down
Oh,
to it,
listen,
iMessage
Mike,
does
you
work
said-
better than
hold
RCS
on.
because RCS still has issues sometimes.
But-
Whose
okay,
fault
now-
is that? Whose fault is that? That's Google.
that's
So
Google's
listen,
I'm not
Mike,
here to blame fault. I'm not
No,
here to
but
blame
listen,
fault.
this is what I'm
I'm
telling
not
you.
here to blame
Okay,
fault.
go ahead.
All I'm trying to
If
say
you're not here to
is,
give fault, then you have no business saying Apple should do the right thing. It's not Apple's place to have to do the right
I'm
thing.
not
here.
saying Apple
Google
should do the
have
right
to
thing.
do the right
I'm
thing here.
not saying Apple should do the right thing.
You
What
said
I'm
they should-
saying
you
is,
said that they should adopt RCS because of privacy or whatever, but they
I'm
shouldn't.
being facetious. Okay.
Okay.
I, you know,
Okay.
what I'm getting at, what I'm trying to get at is they say one thing, they say one thing and they
But-
talk about privacy
No.
and
But
security.
you know they're hypocritical
Mike,
about the privacy.
Mike,
We all
wait.
know that now.
Mike,
Okay.
you know what? Mike, listen, Apple's worried about their users. So when I
And
message
their
George,
money.
it's
Yeah,
encrypted.
their money is what. That's the big one, not their users.
You don't
When
It's
I
about the
message
money.
them,
you don't get to be the most
Which-
valuable company on earth by not worrying about your money.
which company isn't worried about their money besides Google?
Exactly.
But
Amazon.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
when,
Good luck with
when I
that.
message George, it's secure. Me and George have a great experience. If I put somebody, just like Tim Cook said, get an iPhone. Tell your grandma or whoever to get an iPhone. You can't.
But
Google, to me, Google is like the bully in this situation. Google's out here trying to say,
not all, not all the, not
They
all
are,
the.
though.
Google
But it
wants
ain't-
to be the
Mike,
bully,
listen, what
and
I'm trying
Apple's
to
not
tell
going
you.
for it.
Mike,
me-
they
look,
are.
look,
Get
let
the
me say
message.
something.
You go on Twitter, hashtag get the message. Like, why are you trying to bully them because you took 15 years to make messaging decent on your
That's true.
platform?
That's true. And they
then-
went through
and
what,
then
5 or 7
here's the-
different platforms.
Here's the other thing, right? Listen, George, and
So you
you're
still
gonna-
all going to hold that against Google? Finally, they
Yeah,
realize,
I'm
yes, they are
holding-
losing
Will's gonna
market
hold it
share
against them
in a
forever,
big
you
way.
I'm
know
holding
that.
it. I'm
Oh,
holding
They
Randy,
it.
lose
thank
their
you
market
so much,
share
as
and they
always.
decide.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
holding it against them when people say that this is Apple's fault and Apple should do this or do that, because think about it. Y'all
George,
had all this
you need to
time.
clip this. You need to clip this and put this
Y'all-
on out there
Y'all had
on
all this
Twitter and
time
all.
to make a decent
You need to
chat-
clip this.
to make a
This is
decent
gold.
chat
This is gold
platform,
material here.
and you didn't. And now that you have something that's decent and you're trying to get people to use it. Once everything climb something. Once everything close. So okay, so now that they have it,
Apple wants to
and
keep
people
their
use it.
walled garden.
Yeah, they
and
want
I
to keep
agree.
it exactly. But you want people to you want Apple to help you out. But even though
And here's the
Google
problem.
Maps,
Yes,
look,
they want to
George,
keep their
George,
walled
listen.
garden, but now
George.
they've made iOS 16 so much better and closer to Android. How much can you complain about their walled garden now? I don't think you can
George, hold
complain
on, listen.
much.
So Google Maps, right, was the best map service ever. It was out and everybody loved it, right? Instead of Apple just saying we're just going to keep using Google Maps, they were like, we're going to make our own map thing, right? They went
And
and did
they
their
still
own
made
map.
it better. They're still not as good as Google, even to
But
this
yeah,
day.
they're not. No, listen, they're not, right? But they're competing because you don't have to rely on them.
That's true.
Google is like has search or whatever, but Google's model to make money is different. So
Yeah,
they
that's true.
leave all their stuff open. I can still use Google Maps. I can still use Google Docs. So
That's true.
why would I get an Android phone? There's no
Because
point.
let me
Let
just
him
let me
answer.
There's no point.
let me
Because-
say this.
Let him
because
answer,
Google-
Will.
Google.
Wait,
Okay,
wait.
go ahead.
Now you just said, okay, here's what I see is the problem. And the problem with iMessage, and first off, it's here in America.
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
you said yourself, you
Yeah,
saw
it's
everybody, okay,
It's a
everybody,
problem
you were
here.
out of the country, and you see that WhatsApp is king supreme. And you dealt with plenty of people because of you going to school, and WhatsApp was the big thing,
Yeah.
not iMessage.
Yeah.
This whole thing,
Because you
iMessage
know
thing
why?
is a
You know
bunch of
why?
bull fucky. Listen,
Okay.
us Americans are lazy. They don't want to expand their mind. And you said just now you can
It's
get all
not
the Google apps.
Americans. That's Westerners in general.
Well, us
That's
Americans. They don't
that's
want to
Australians,
download
that's
an
British,
app.
that's Westerners,
They don't
Germans.
want to
Same
download
thing. They're
an
just
app.
as lazy as we are.
They don't want to. Us Americans don't want to go through the trouble of trying to download an app. Now, you just said that you can get Google. Now, you just also said that when I message you from my Android phone to your Apple phone, I have to use the link. Now, I know I've told plenty of people who are on iPhones, and then one of their saying is, I'm running out of storage. I said, did you get Google Photos? Oh, what's that? I said, I can take all your photos that are locally stored on your phone and put it in the cloud.
Not
Okay.
all. To get all your photos there, you're probably going
Hold
to have
on.
to pay them, but it'll
But
take a lot.
now, wait a minute. Now you have Google Photos that I could send this video to you in a link, and you have Google Photos yourself. Okay. It took a moment to download the app to get and then set up your Google, because if you're already using Google, if you already got a Gmail account, that right there qualifies you to get Google Photos. And let's talk about, you still want to talk about messaging? What's the other biggest messaging app, talk about here in America, that everybody's on? What is it? I'm going to give you 3 seconds. Which one?
Messenger.
Facebook Messenger.
Exactly.
And you can still send those high quality videos and photos by Messenger. So what's the big deal? What's the big, why is this? Because Apple and Google.
You're right about
I'm not
Google
gonna
lets
say they're-
iPhone and
they're
Apple
not-
doesn't,
okay,
but it's
they-
because of what Will said.
they
They
are
make
putting
money in
this-
different ways.
They
I
are
think.
putting this.
Let's
they
see what
are-
Gary says here. Wait a minute. It's
that
Android so
true?
inferior to Apple. Why Apple won't just add RCS? Because RCS still has issues. That's why.
And because
People will run to the store to get Samsung and puts a phone. Hey, folks.
so, Mike, what I'm
But
saying
is it true? Is it true? Let's talk about this. You
Okay.
just said, yes, the
And
videos
you're right,
come
Will,
over
it is
to
a
you
one-way
as crap,
street.
but if they could just take, that person can download.
send me a link.
If they could download Candy Crush, they could easily download Google Photos.
Mike,
Am I right? If they
Yes,
want to
that's
Instagram and TikTok, when they get the new phone, they gotta download. They can
Mike,
download Google Photos.
Mike, look at my screen. The top has Apple Photos. The middle has Google Photos. That's on my iPhone. Okay.
It doesn't mean anything to me, George.
No, my
So,
point
but
being that you're right. You can easily add Google Photos.
So
I keep Google Photos on all
Yeah,
my phones.
but
I don't
Mike,
care which
you're-
one I'm using.
Right,
you're
but I'm
right.
talking about people having this conversation. That video, I watched that video of hers, and I cringed. I cringed at it. She was just making every excuse under the sun, giving her, the reason why.
Joya makes a very good point. There is no iPhone for everyone. That's true because everyone can't afford an iPhone. That's true.
Hold on.
Mike, the reason is because most people don't. Okay, look. If you
But am I right? Wait a minute. Can you get
Right.
Google Photos on your phone? I just sent that message to you. My quick internet slowing down.
you text it,
It says sending.
okay.
You could
So
put,
listen, I didn't get it yet.
You're
But
proving Will's
the reason-
point.
Mike, the reason is because it's just easier. People don't, and yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And
because I
Mike
have
says
Google
Americans
Photos.
are lazy. So
People
yeah,
don't
they're
wanna
going to
take
take
Hard.
it.
They don't want to learn. They don't want to just see what can help the situation. They
Well,
just
what did
quickly
Will
go
just say?
and
It's easier. Yeah, if it's easier,
So,
they're going to go for
look.
it.
We have a group chat, us guys, in Telegram.
In Telegram,
I mean, we could look. Will video called me using Telegram from the Philippines.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and
You have-
there's
Mike,
Google
listen.
now. Me.
Mike,
but-
there's options, but the problem
But
is
there are, but nobody. Everybody makes it. Everybody makes it like you're like there is
So
a
he- so
class.
the
They're
longest
making
one
a
that went the
class
other way.
difference between us people.
He
Us-
went up to
us
the 6
Android
Plus
people.
before he switched. I guess
Here
he's
goes-
happy with Android.
here goes the link. See, this is what you sent me. See,
Wait a
They
minute,
sent
wait a
me a
minute, wait a
link.
minute.
Okay.
Okay. So you tap on. Does it not? Is it not in your
And
Google Photos? Does it not take
It
it?
opens. Let me see what it opens.
Do you have? I would. Please tell me you have Google Photos.
It opens Google Photos.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. This is what I'm telling you. Apple made it. Apple iMessage has been out since 2011. So if you had an whatever device, if you had iPad, what's it called? What was it called? iPod with a screen. I forget what they're called. But anyway, you started off on iMessage, right?
Right.
So those people aren't gonna. They don't care about downloading no other app to message.
Which is
because
what you said, Mike. They're
they
lazy.
already-
Okay.
No,
if
but
it's-
listen, hold on. They already have an established message. If me, you, and
That's true.
George have a message that's been going on for 6 months, and then you switch phones, now we can't transfer that iMessage thread. You got to start all over again. people don't
It's like when George switches his SIM
Yeah,
cards between iPhone.
yeah. People don't want to
And guess
deal with
guess
that.
what, Mike? I can't do that anymore. I got eSIM now.
That's the only good thing about eSIM.
People don't want to deal with that, Mike. But the problem is Apple doesn't have to fix it, because this is why. So listen, we keep saying if Apple added RCS, so, and I'll say it too, I think, yeah, they would lose sales, but in a way they probably wouldn't, because it's not like Apple isn't allowing all these messaging apps on there. Listen, hold on, Mike. They're allowing.
I'm not here to talk about. I don't care.
So-
Apple's going to keep on doing what they're doing. Apple's going to keep on doing what they're doing. But what's happening here in America, and I'm still sticking to that theory. I'm still sticking to that what happens here in America is sheer just bullying or a tactic. I can't put a word to it right now. Look. The comment in her video there. I was reading the comments before coming on. The one comment says here, so you switched because you gave into pressure. Great job, buddy. I mean,
no, she didn't.
Yeah, yes,
Mike, listen,
yes,
Mike, listen,
did. You could have gotten a Google
She
Pixel.
also
Listen,
liked the new
Mike,
features that they've
Mike,
added to
she
iOS
switched.
16. She said
switched,
so.
but she uses a MacBook, so to
Yeah.
get the best experience, if she didn't like it, she would have went back to her Galaxy S10.
I agree.
Why do people
Look
use messages? Just
look
use
what Gary
Snapchat.
said. Look what Gary said. Look what
Yeah.
Gary said.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me go back to that. I'm sorry. I
You
was.
see, with my family, Gary, I wouldn't be making them do anything.
So listen, Mike, Gary is the bad guy. Why did they have to conform to what Gary wants?
Yeah, we made.
Gary's
no bad guy.
I'm not making nobody do anything.
Because he's
There's
the oddball.
alternatives, and nobody wants to try the alternative. It's, well, I gotta be the cool person. I'm gonna do this because it's the cool thing to do. There are alternatives to get your messages
And
across.
she did kind of say that, but she also liked the features on iOS 16. She said that too.
No. I'm sorry.
She said she was bullied or whatever. People were telling her to get the iPhone.
But she also liked the island, and
She
she
liked
liked
the
the always on
features.
display.
She's already using a MacBook.
Yep.
She said she switched because she got bullied and she got tired of being the oddball in the messages. Just like Gary's family.
I read the thing here somewhere in here. One of her things that says in here, in her comment, the pinned comment from her, that she says, "Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching." A lot of people in the comments have mentioned that the iMessage issue is an American problem, since most people outside the United States use WhatsApp. I use WhatsApp a lot to communicate with friends, but it's just not not as common here. So being able to use iMessage has been a lot more seamless. But what's wrong with her? What's wrong with these people trying? I just said, I bet you all her friends have Facebook Messenger. I bet you they all have Facebook Messenger because they're on Facebook.
Well, we don't know one way or the other. So
there's Instagram, which I think is one of the same.
I keep saying they're lazy, but it's not lazy, Mike, because
it is.
You can't call it. Mike, listen.
Casey Neistat talked about he was trying to get. He was on an Android phone. He was saying, "Listen, let's try." I think it was Telegram at the time. He's trying to get some of his friends. They go, "I don't want to download that app. I'm just fine what I have."
Exactly.
And he said that people just don't want to try. It isn't that they just don't want to try. You could have all this
Gary says social pressure is not an excuse. I think it is.
Mike, listen.
At some point, people get this. It's her friends. She's going to get tired of
There you go, Ted. Ted, I'm right with you, man. I'm right with you. Lazy or stupidity.
Ren says in the Philippines, people love using Messenger, and over in China, we uses WeChat. That I know. It really depends on the country or region. That's true.
Maybe she can tell Tim Apple. The problem is, Mike, that iMessage works. And listen, I'm going to explain it to you again, Mike. If me and George, if I message George, right, unless George explicitly messages me in Telegram to start the message, I'm going to message him in iMessage because it's just easier. iMessage carries over to my computer. It works seamless on my watch. It'll work on
And
my
I can go
iPad.
and message I
Listen.
can message using Android messaging on my computer and my Chromebook.
But they only added that in the last year and a half.
Couple years.
No,
But
couple
wait,
years
listen. But you need your phone.
I
with
never
you
heard of
to
Viber.
access it. If you Viber is I don't like it. If you don't have your phone with you, you can't register for Android messages on the web. iMessage just works. So I'm gonna use
That's
that
true.
because it's
That's
easier
true.
for me before I jump to Telegram. Now, if George messages me on Telegram, fine, I'll work with it. But
Right.
what I'm telling you, Mike, is Apple or Google allows you.
Very good point, Ted. Very good point.
Google, Americans have trouble.
Americans have
That's
trouble
true.
installing third.
And I'm one of them. As
Listen,
soon as I get a computer, the first thing I do is download Chrome.
because Ted, listen, this is why. Because if most people in your let's say you have 10 friends, if 9 of them or 8 of them use an iPhone, you're not downloading a third app.
And Mullen, you're right. That's
You're
what
not-
you just described, Will, all the way.
You're not going to download a third party app for what?
Wait a minute. Say that again. I missed the
If
first
you're-
part.
If your social circle, what did Ren say? Usually just call the person.
And
So
Renz,
if your
I tend to do the same thing, but I think
if your
we're the
social
unusual. Most
circle
people don't call
uses
anymore, I don't think.
mostly iMessage or Facebook or whatever, that's all you're thinking of. Just like Mike. Remember before you knew about Telegram, you were
Wait a
using
minute. What is Ted saying here? What's it got to do with iCloud? Nothing that I know
iMessage
of.
just works so long as you sign up to no, you don't have to sign up to iCloud. You
Yeah,
just
I
have to
think
have your
so.
email. Like my email is on my MacBook, my email, my Apple sign in, so I can use iMessage on my iPad. You don't have to be on iCloud.
Yeah,
But
Renz, I usually
what I'm
find
saying
that
is,
quicker.
because Mike said that he can message on his Chromebook, but if Mike left his phone at home for some reason, you can't sign on to Google Messages because you need your phone to scan that code.
And Gary, you're right. I have problems not eating cheeseburgers,
Oh my
but
God.
I also know how not to get fat. Period.
The
So
problem,
I eat all
Mike,
the
is this
cheeseburgers
is
I
never
feel like eating.
this issue is never going to end, Mike. It's never going to end.
No, it's never.
It's not Apple's fault.
I'm not here to blame. I don't
I
care.
agree- I agree with Will.
Stop saying that.
Yeah, but
You're
the
giving me
Mullen
an
keeps
iPad.
saying that
No, okay,
Apple
so
should
wait.
have stopped
You
RCS.
can't-
I don't think so.
You
I
can't be
think
mad at
they're
people.
right.
You can't even look at them funny when they switch either, because Google
No, if they
Google
switch,
Android gives you an alternative, right? Like this lady, we can't be mad at her because if Android still had something that was so amazing, she would have went back. The fact that she
Well,
didn't,
we
go
don't
back,
know that. We don't know
Yeah,
that one way or the other.
George, she moved from messaging, right? Just like me, I moved to the Pixel, right? If Google had something that made me say, "Oh, this is amazing," I wouldn't have went back to the iPhone.
Well, yeah, and you did try for a couple of
Because-
years to stick with Android. I give you that.
Because I didn't go back strictly for iMessage, but
Right.
the fact that Google allows, this is what I was telling you, Mike, the fact that Google allows me to use Google services on an iPhone means, why do I need it? Do you see now? You can't. Before, back in the day, you could download.
Mullen's being honest about it. He's blaming Apple. Case
You could
closed.
download.
And
You could download
agree.
Safari on a Windows computer, right? And then Apple said, you know what? Safari might be a way for us to make money, so we can't offer it to Windows users no more. They took it
It's
away.
option 2, Ted.
Google leaves all their apps on the App Store because they want to make money. So they make it harder for an iPhone person to be like, I'm going to switch, because you have to, before you do it, Mike, just like you went back to, you gave up on iPhone because you're like, I don't like it or whatever. There's nothing over there that I want. Well, Google, you
Gary, I
might still
think
want to
you're right.
use it. You might want to use Chrome or whatever it is. You can use it on your iPhone. Plus, you get iMessage. Plus, you get FaceTime. Plus, you get AirDrop. Plus, you can still send a Google Photos link. You're getting the best of everything. on
Absolutely
one
right,
phone.
Gary.
So why would you go to a phone where you're going to lose iMessage, you're going to lose FaceTime, you're going to lose AirDrop? Why would you do that? You're going to get a phone that's going to overheat. Your phone might not have 4K
And Gary said that
recording,
FaceTime and
depending on
iMessage are the big things, and I agree.
depending on which Android phone you buy. You know what I
And-
mean? You got to use a
and-
phone that's 6.8
keep
inches
something in
tall.
mind, Mike. I love both my
Like,
phones, and I do
You
love
know what
my
I'm saying?
iPhone.
You know what
I
I'm
never
saying,
use FaceTime and almost never use iMessage.
George, but do you understand what I mean? Apple is giving you the
Yes.
best of both worlds because Google allows it. And Apple's not sitting around because at any minute, Google could say, oh, we're pulling
And Google's
Google
famous for that.
we're
And
pulling
Google's
no.
famous for that.
They could say we're pulling Google Maps off
I
of
should say
the iPhone.
Google's infamous for
So
that.
if they were to pull Google Maps, Apple's like, we need another map. So they made their own.
Google, stop.
Google
George is going. His Google Home's going off.
Yeah.
Google has a different marketing strategy and it makes them lose because just like for me, if I can get all my Google services on this phone plus get Apple services,
Renz is right. People who like those side load apps, of course they're going to love Android.
Why would I use a Google phone if Google is still giving me everything on an iPhone? It don't make sense.
Yeah, but like Renz just said, if you like side loading stuff, you're not going to use an iPhone.
So that's the only reason. That would be the only advantage of getting a Android phone. That's why, Mike, I keep telling you, I don't think you, and I know you're a diehard Android. You would
Renz
never
is great too.
you would never switch to Apple at this point because you just wouldn't. But you're not missing nothing. The only thing you're missing is being able to put your icon where they're at. That's it.
Listen, I got my friend here in Brazil. He's made a great point here. Apple could easily kill off WhatsApp or Telegram by adopting RCS chat. No one needs to download a third-party app. It's simple. These apps survive only because people need an instrument to bypass the carries.
Has it occurred to anybody that maybe Apple might give into this pressure if RCS didn't have some issues?
So wait,
does iMessage have any issues? No, zero.
Listen,
does RCS have issues? Yes, it does sometimes. Maybe Apple doesn't want to add something to something that's perfect that has issues. Could be.
You don't stay in a prison. So wait, Ted, it's not a prison though.
It's the same thing. One. You just depends on how you look at it.
No matter what you're using, think about this.
Right? Brian,
hold on.
Brian,
Mike, wait.
Listen, man.
Mike, hold on. You have $1,000, right?
Brian's enjoying
this
himself.
Is your budget, Mike. $1,000. You can buy something that you can use everything, right? For $1,000, you can use everything, or you can buy something where you're missing features.
I feel like I'm not missing any features.
You are okay, not features.
No, you're not missing features, but you have to admit, iMessage works better than RCS.
No, listen.
RCS has issues sometimes. iMessage doesn't. That's just a fact.
You're missing like a communication method that you could have. That is usually not for you or George or whoever, but that's usually like this lady. This is what this lady is saying.
If they don't know they're trapped, it's because they don't feel they're trapped. So
this is,
that's fine.
This lady, right? She got her iPhone, right? So now she has iMessage and FaceTime and AirDrop, and all those people that she was talking to on WhatsApp, she can still talk to them. She can still talk to her.
You're right. Android outsells Apple 80 to 20
worldwide. She can still talk to the WhatsApp people. She can still send a regular text message. So you get more. That's what I'm saying. You still get Google Maps and you get iMessage and all. So only thing that you're missing is being able to put the icons wherever you want or side load. Or clear the cache.
Side load's a big deal. But around the world, Android wins hands down, not even close.
Yeah,
in America, iPhone is the winner.
But Mike, you'll never try it because I don't know why. I don't know why you don't try it, Mike. I think you
You
just
don't
don't
know
wanna
why.
like
You
it.
know what? You know what,
I
Will?
think
You
Mike
got me
doesn't
so
want to
heated
like
up. I think on Black Friday I'm going to buy another Android phone. There. Ha.
I think Mike doesn't want to like it, George. I think he's scared he's gonna
No,
like
I don't. I think he certainly sounds that way.
it. I think he's
I'm not
scared that
scared. I
And
don't
all
know.
the and all the times you've said that you liked your iPhone, now you sound like you don't.
I think he's
I
scared
did
that
like
he's
I
gonna
did
like it.
like it, but I just found myself like going.
Oh, exactly. Okay, look, you see what he's
Yeah,
saying? So
the Mullen
so
Will has said many times
so
Google needs to close down,
for most
wall it
for
down
most
some.
for most people, that would be a deciding factor if you couldn't get Google Maps or whatever on your iPhone. That's what
You see
everybody says.
Ted's answer to
When
you,
you,
Will.
if you your friend is either exceptional. if you go to if you go on Twitter when this RCS thing is on there and everybody's complaining about it, they'll be like, Google should just stop
That's what I
giving
love about
YouTube.
Gary.
the-"
He's honest.
They'll be like, you Google should just oh my god. Google should just take YouTube off the App Store. But Google needs it on the App Store because the App Store equals money for Google. But
Yes.
Apple, you can't get Apple Maps on an iPhone. You can't, I mean, on an Android phone. You can't get Safari. You can't, you know what I mean?
Why would
Apple's
you
like,
want Safari if you've
listen,
got Google?
because Safari kills all those ads.
Okay.
Those ads are ridiculous on Chrome. But
Yeah,
anyway,
well, there is a lot of ads.
Apple keeps their apps. You know what I mean?
Look at
They
Renz trying to
separate
stir the pot on purpose.
because Apple's not like Google. Google's like, we're gonna rely on whoever to push our thing and make us money. Apple's like, you know what? We got to make our own maps.
Thanks,
thing. Wait till
Brian.
they come out with their terrible
As
search
always, sir.
alternative. It's gonna be
Ted
awful.
makes a
It's
good
coming.
point. I think most people should use the Telegram. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, nobody.
If
listen,
you force me to
if-
use one,
you know
I
what?
would use
Here's
Telegram.
the funny thing. Mike knows RCS, and out of my friends, Mike knows RCS. George knows RCS. I don't know nobody else here who even knows what it is. They don't even know what it is.
No, they no.
Well, most
You're
people
right. You're
probably
right.
don't.
I will say.
Now,
I will
Eleanor
say
knows what it is, but only because I've taught her.
because you talk about yeah. Yes,
But
and
most people don't even know what it is.
let me
That's
just say
true.
I will vouch for what Will just said because I think and this is what I can
And
gather
Ted's
is
right. Safari is much weaker
Yeah,
security-wise.
AT&T just must have turned on.
Safari's great for your battery though, because Chrome will kill your.
Well, Chrome does eat up some battery. That's true.
Yes, it does.
Does it really?
You
Yeah.
see, the
Well,
Mullen
no, I
says
never-
Signal, yeah, and Signal is a very good choice too. I think a lot of us have gotten used to Telegram, and it's gotten a lot of adoption worldwide.
Wait, I got a question because this is what I never do when I get an Android phone. I haven't done it in forever.
Go ahead.
What? Then everyone would not have Chrome? Yes, you would because you can't download Safari on a PC. Because Apple's smart. So
No,
so Mike,
that's where I think Apple's dumb. They should let Safari
No.
run on PCs.
no, why? Because then why would you buy a MacBook? Come on, George. We just talked about it.
Well, yeah, you got
That's
a
like
point.
putting
I
an iMessage
didn't
on
think
your
of that. You're
iPhone.
right. You're right.
But Mike, so when you download, I don't even know if these apps still exist. If you download Textra, does it have RCS?
No, I think it's an SMS app.
So there's no RCS.
Not
there's
not
still-
yet to them.
See what I mean? Android is still allowing that
That's true.
because some people
And it's still
have,
allowing it a
some
lot
people,
too.
some people still have like old Samsungs. They
Yeah.
don't have RCS, so they're breaking your message thread or whatever.
That's
No,
true.
wait a minute. You could download. Wait a minute. You could download
No,
Android messaging.
Mike, an old Samsung. Remember,
I didn't
Android
know that,
messaging.
Brian.
Android messaging is now the thing, but if you have an older Samsung,
You
you
could
don't have-
download Android messaging.
listen, you don't have it on your phone. You already know most people don't even change their wallpaper. So
That's
they
true.
still have the stock messaging app.
That's true. They're gonna
And
have what came
Android-
with the phone. That's true.
Android needs to be like, you know what? We're gonna eliminate all of these apps that let you change the color of the chat thing and all because
Wow.
they don't do nothing but stop RCS the progress.
Look at this. Renz uses 4
Oh.
different ones. Wow.
I have a lot of apps on my phone. Telegram.
Yeah, that's a lot of switching around, but I guess he's used to it.
Yeah, see, so
Oh, they don't have. Okay, I didn't know
yes,
that.
we do need scheduled messaging. Yes, we
Okay.
do. I talked to Tim for that. He said it's give him some time.
Talk to Tim. Okay.
He said give him some time.
Yeah, it came out a long time ago, but I don't think
Google
it got
just-
any.
Google just started working on like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I was,
3
I
years
was,
ago is when it
I
started
was-
getting the push.
I was dying on that hill when Friday Night Tech Talk started. That was my push for
That's true.
Android.
Yeah, you're the one who taught us about RCS.
Look how long it took. They took
Yeah.
so long that I left.
Now I think a lot of that you can blame on Verizon and AT&T and Sprint and T-Mobile. You
They
know.
took so long that I got sick of waiting and left.
Yeah.
Because I was diehard Android. But yeah, Mike, I don't know. You just stay in Android land.
Actually, that's not true. There's still people who have old phones. Heck, you have to remember, I
No.
work with a bunch of retired
a
old
lot of
guys
old, a
who
lot
don't know
of
anything
old
about that.
Samsung
I
guys.
work with guys who still have flip phones from 15 years ago.
That lady has an S10. The S10 doesn't come with Google messages on it.
Exactly.
It
That's
comes
true.
with that Samsung messaging app.
Hmm.
Which,
Which-
which, if Mike, if you messaged her, she would break your RCS thread. You'd be in the same situation. You're gonna have to tell her to download Telegram
Yeah.
or to download Android messages because on some
So-
devices it's a third
So,
party app.
Shane, why were you waiting on ICS, Will? You could have enjoyed Telegram sooner. How long has Telegram been out? I don't even know. How long
Nobody I
Telegram-
knew was on Telegram then.
Yeah, I only
don't even know
started
if
using
Telegram was
Telegram about 3 or 4 years ago too.
Telegram sooner.
But you know what? Y'all are the only ones that I know that use Telegram. Like I think I told Mike this. It'll be like just today I deleted like 4 people. It'll be like so and so is on Telegram.
The
And
the
you know,
only
I don't-
people
they
I
don't-
know that really, it's like everybody I know is on Telegram. The only people I know that use it are tech people.
Yeah, nobody else uses it.
Yeah,
And I
my
was thinking of
my
telling Mike,
landlord,
too.
his wife, her sister, his daughter, they're all on Telegram.
You know
None
why?
of them ever use it ever
George,
at all.
George, let me tell you why. Because
Okay.
somebody out there with an Android phone says, just download Telegram. And then they download it and they're like,
they all got on it, but they
Yeah,
never
they-
ever
they-
say anything on Telegram.
they download it and then they're like, ill.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm leaving. I'm going back to iMessage. You just got to deal with the green bubble. That's all.
And the moment that Telegram started in 2013, so it's
That's
around the
what-
same time. Okay.
I get messages all the time. So and so's on Telegram, but do they ever message you on it? No.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I get these messages that these people are on it, but they never use
Group
it.
Me. Oh my God, Group Me. That was a terrible. Oh,
Yeah, GroupMe was kind of popular for a
some
while,
people
though.
still use that.
You know who put me on GroupMe in first? Team 100. Team 100.
Group Me. Mike, oh listen, Mike. Remember I sent you that thing about Google or Nest not fixing my thing, right? So I called them.
Yeah,
today.
well, yeah. Where'd you get with that?
So they didn't fix it. Let me tell you what the lady told me. Oh, this is a problem on the Google store. She blamed the Google store, right?
Really?
She blamed it. Look, Mike, I got your message on my watch.
How is it the
I'll
Google
reply on my
store?
watch. She blamed because this is what was happening. So when I would subscribe to Nest Aware, right?
Right.
It would subscribe and then it would cancel like 20 minutes later. And it kept doing it and kept doing it. This has been
Really?
going on for months. So like 4 weeks ago, I started a support ticket with Google again because I knew I was going out of town. So they never answered 4 weeks. So today I'm like, oh, I'm not doing nothing. So I call. The lady's like, oh, this is a problem with the Google store. I said, so y'all let my ticket sit there for 4 weeks and nobody reached out to me and said nothing, right? So what she did was, this is what she said, that they're going to advance it to somewhere else in the Nest support. And she gave me 3 free months. So now my Nest Aware is working. But yeah, Google is, I don't know, man. As long as they gave me my money back. And I guess I'll try next year again. Again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you got you got 3 months for free,
3 free months, yeah.
and that's for your doorbell.
Well, for all my Nest, whatever. Nest, yeah. It just gives you like 5 days recording, something like that.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, he is.
We-
He is.
we
He is a
knew that.
fanboy. He's an eye sheep. He's
I'm a
he's
sheep
like that.
because,
He's almost as bad as that Sam Cole fellow on Twitter.
because this is why I'm a sheep, because Apple gives you the best of both worlds. Because I can still access the Google services that I need. I have YouTube Music, whatever. What's that thing called? YouTube Premium Music, something.
Yeah, YouTube
I
Premium.
got Google Docs. I got WhatsApp. I still have all the messaging things, but iMessage just works better. And it's not because of me, because I got, like Mike said, I have lazy friends. Some of them don't want to deal with 7 messaging apps, and I don't blame them because sometimes it is annoying, especially when most of my friends have iMessage,
Right.
except for Mike. But but Mike will be back. Mike will be back. Mike's
Encryption.
just waiting. Mike's
I
just waiting.
would hope Mike will be back.
Mike is waiting on a good deal. That's all. That's all. If
He
Mike,
sends
I have a good
Super
deal for
chats,
Mike.
okay.
I have
Well,
I have a
for a
good
phone?
deal.
No,
I have a
now
good
he
deal
can't.
for Mike on
His
it.
7 Pro can't send super chats, but his S21 FE can. That's
You
weird.
can only send super hats.
Super hat. I want a super hat.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Brian, I'm grateful as always. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Why can't it send super chat? Oh,
He had mentioned the problem with it a month and a half ago too.
come on, Google.
Girl's last name is Cook. middle initial T.
Like Will would ever be ashamed of that, right? Good
Mike,
luck with
13 Pro, Mike. I'm telling you.
that. All right, guys, we're not going to
Black
get
Friday-
to the other stories, and
Black
it's 5
Friday
minutes
deal,
to
Mike.
10.
Mike, Black Friday deal.
Yeah.
Black
Now,
Friday deal,
speaking
yeah.
of Black Friday, everybody, next week, this is why I didn't bring up any Black Friday stuff. Next week, we're going to be on Simply Your Device, Friday Night Tech Talk, 8 o'clock. So Mike is going to have all the Black Friday stuff and the Cyber Monday stuff, I assume, right, Mike?
There we go. Hold on. I like my man Gary Brown. That's right, baby. In the
There you go.
ecosystem. Chromebook was here on standby. That's right. That's right.
Come on. This is the ecosystem.
Right.
The only one that matters. The only one that matters. Come on. This is
No.
the ecosystem.
This Chromebook is. I love my Chromebook. I'm
Chromebook
telling you.
saved the day for your stream.
Yes, it did.
The
Mhm.
Chromebook saved the day. Look at that.
Well-
It's black. You see that? It still works.
Brian, thank you once
Yeah.
again, sir. Appreciate it so
And
much.
it's got 15 points.
From the iPhone, yeah.
Something.
Apple got theirs.
And this is only a 7.
So next week is the stream on my channel, Simply Your Device. Come on by.
Super chat from Mike
Look at
Channels,
that,
FMTT from
iPhone.
iPhone. There you go. All right, guys. Next week we're going to be on Mike's channel, so don't forget it's not on Mobile Geezer channel. It's going to be on Simply Your Device. Hopefully, Will be here too, and hopefully
Yeah,
Ted will be here.
So
Why
I go
Ted
back to
couldn't join? I know I messed up at the beginning with the 2 streams, but you guys, he tried joining with the same link and he couldn't get his mic and camera to work. So I don't know what that's about.
I go back to class tomorrow, Monday.
Monday.
Monday. But this Friday I should be good because it's
So it's
holiday.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So they shouldn't really give us too
So
much.
I'll get the links in the room and stories all together.
Mike, you gotta make this one a
And
good
I
one. 'cause
probably
I
am
don't
not
know-
buying anything for Black Friday. So
I don't know when I'm gonna be on after this one, Mike. So you gotta
Okay.
make it a good one.
I'm going to make it good. Don't you worry. I'm going to
There
make
you
it
go.
real good. All right.
All right, Ted, thanks for being here. Sorry you couldn't get on.
Yeah, Ted. I don't know why you weren't on.
He tried to get on, but this link wasn't working for him. I don't know why he got in, but he couldn't get his mic and his sound to work.
That's the topic of the stream every time. But
Exactly.
I always try. I already know what I'm getting, but I still try.
All right, guys. Thanks for
I
being
tried to
here.
let them
Everybody
know
have a
me.
very blessed weekend. And what I always say, we all do better when we love each other. See you next week on Simply Your Device.
Bye.